I think in terms of future projections, if we've looked back the last 3-4 years, we've seen a significant rise in e-commerce, probably rising about 30% year on year in terms of revenues across the industry. Yes, the economy has been tight, but I think whether it has affected e-commerce companies is probably more applicable to companies based on the scale of growth. So maybe for the bigger companies who are probably reaching close to saturation point, they may have seen some effect on the revenues. But for companies which are still up and coming like ourselves, Supermart, for us, we still have a huge room to grow into. So we've definitely seen growth on this year. But I know in our discussions with the FMCG brands, while they are talking about growth contracting and even seeing, in terms of revenue going down, we have certainly seen it going up because we believe we're still a relatively young company. We're growing into what we believe is a huge market. So I think I'll really break it down into the scale of the business and the level of maturity it has achieved.
Great. So Chris, I think I'm just going to sort of take that wedge from Gbolahan talking about FMCG. Now, PZ Cussons is firmly entrenched in sort of the consumer segment of our economy. And your firm is doing a bunch of diverse things, in electronics, in personal care, in home services and the like. What's business been like? I mean, we hear lots of things like Nestle saying, well, there's no middle class. We came here, we were deceived. There's really no middle class. We're leaving. What's business been like for you and certainly this year, and what are you forecasting for the next couple of years?
I think for us, the important thing to take into consideration is we've been in Nigeria for 115 years. So we are not a short-term or even a medium-term player. And we always look at the opportunities ahead. The last, I would say, 5 to 7 years, since the economic or the financial banking crisis of 2008, 2009, the consumer has suffered. If you look at the availability of funds that they have or the cash that they have in order to purchase, over the last few years it has become much bigger, focused on food rather than other things. We are coming to a point where we believe that there is a correction taking place. The economy is definitely slowing down. Consumer has fewer funds to buy things. It is almost impossible to increase prices. In fact, for most of our products which operate in what I call the mass market segment, we've not changed prices for the last 3 to 4 years. We've done other things, but challenging times ahead.
Okay, so I think I want to sort of tack on to what you just said, which is really sort of talking about sort of elasticity of prices in the local market. But besides pricing, what other levers do you think you have that you can sort of execute to ensure that you don't have significant contraction in the existing business, or you can grow existing businesses?
So you have to be competitive in the marketplace. So price obviously plays an important role. The size of offering that you give the consumer, availability, quality, all these things are important for the consumer. Ultimately, it is the one that provides the best value that is going to be the winner, and the one that is available and making the biggest amount of at the retail end. And we can see actually in the marketplace, you go into the marketplace, everything is on promotion. We are becoming like the UK, where you buy one and you get 2 free and 3 free. So that competition for the little amount of money that the consumer has is becoming apparent.
So welcome in Kamar Bakrin, who is an operating partner at Helios. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
If you could just spend a few seconds just sharing a little bit about your background, because the next question is for you.
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Is it working? I don't know. So as Eghosa said, I'm country head for Helios in Nigeria. Helios, as you know, as you might know, is one of the largest Africa-focused private equity funds. We have about $3 billion under management, and our focus is FMCG, energy, financial services, and technology, media, and telecom spaces. We've done quite a number of investments in Nigeria, which continues to remain our biggest investment destination, and will probably remain so for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
So I think following up on some of the earlier themes, we're seeing sort of more headwinds from an economic activity perspective, and the general slowdown attributable to different reasons. But have you seen a lull in sort of your segment, private equity?
I mean, it's hard to talk about a lull in the private equity space in the sense that, are we talking about the ability to raise funds or the ability to deploy capital? If you look at, obviously, I mean, like, again, we are currently not in the fundraising cycle, so I suppose we can't really speak to that in terms of the market's appetite for, sort of Africa private equity investment. However, if we think about it in terms of deal flow, if anything, we have become a bit more circumspect about the deals we are doing simply because of the same headwind. So a deal that looked particularly attractive, say, maybe 24 months ago, all of a sudden, because of this headwind, we've had to stop and think and say, sort of, are we likely to hit our investment case on a deal like this, given the headwind?